Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com, your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing a late 2021 launch from Kurono Tokyo. That is the junior brand of master watchmaker Hajime Asaoka of Japan. So what we have here is the Grand Hagane. It is a timepiece that represents an interpretation of traditional tamahagame, which is a style of metalworking on Japanese swords. This watch uses a dial in that fashion, crafted of Urushi Lacquer, which is a traditional Japanese craft art. The timepiece is simple, historically inspired, and compact. At 37 millimeters in stainless steel, that's the diameter. It's 11.1 millimeters thick. It's 43.8 millimeters from lug to lug, and it has a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now we'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. You can see that Asaoka is drawing design both in terms of detail and in size from the middle of the 20th century, when smaller watches were definitely in vogue, and a watch of this size would be fairly large by men's standard. Today, this could be considered a unisex option, and it is flat with a generously sloped case flank and crystal, so it'll slide underneath a dress cuff if you want to wear it as a dress watch, and that's really what it is. The timepiece has a remarkable combination of elements on its dial, and this one, which is Miyota powered, really is all about the dial design. We may as well talk about some of the details and then jump to the dial, because it is the focal point of the watch. The strap is made of calfskin leather. You can see it's calfskin on both sides. It is black. It has a sheer cut side showing the layers of leather. We have a simple stainless steel pin buckle. This is a brand new factory strap, unworn. We have a case that is graceful and handsome. You can see the lugs are tapered and integrated Calatrava style. Everything's polished. When viewed end-on, the lugs are rather spare and narrow, which is, again, emblematic of the mid-20th century. So, too, is the idea of an unsigned domed crown. We have a very shallow domed bezel, and then we have a dramatically boxed cambered sapphire that's designed to look like a vintage plexiglass, but it is a sapphire. On the dial, we have lovely black polished hands, and you can see they are a little bit of an idiosyncratic design, emblematic of the Kurono Tokyo models. We have in koji font, which is a special sort of formal kanji. It is a unusual execution that's often used on official documents in Japan. Again, not how Japanese symbols are conventionally drawn, but this is a special occasion. So that is known as koji font, and all of the koji on this dial is hand-painted. So too are all of the features of the dial. So starting with a base dial, we have a combination of Urushi Lacquer applications, which include hand polishing. So what we have here is something called Roiro, which is a combination of Urushi Lacquer and iron oxide. And when you combine them together, you get this blackened look. Now, no two of these dials are exactly alike. Artisans who specialize in Kyoto lacquerware were brought in to assist with this dial. And so the idea is to create something very similar to the patterns you'll find on a traditional steel Japanese sword. So all of those lovely patterns that a lot of people identify with folding techniques, for example. That is exactly what you're looking at here. Something that's designed to be marbled, layered, complexed, different shades randomly occurring, intermixing on the dial, and that's exactly what you get. You could see Asaoka's signature and kanji on the reverse side, and the watch is 30 meters water resistant. The dial is excruciatingly handcrafted, and it is the focal point of this watch. But if you do like movements, take heed. The watch is entirely Japanese in its manufacture, so outside and inside, it uses a Miyota movement, protected down to 30 meters. It is a Miyota 90S5. It is an automatic. It has a 50-hour power reserve. It beats away at 4 beats per second, or I should say 4 hertz, 8 beats per second, and it does have a stop seconds function if you wish to set the watch precisely against a reference time. But again, this is all about the extraordinary dial, which is both traditionally lacquered and then hand-painted to evoke yet another Japanese handcraft, which is sword manufacture. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.